Hello everyone and welcome back to the U. So we're going to start off as always talking about Penn State news. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about are changes that are going to be coming to the FitCap program, which all of us experienced as freshmen. This is when you come in and you just get adjusted to the university. And there's been a slight decrease in satisfaction of the events in the transition for new students. What do you guys think of this? How was your FitCap experience?
It wasn't my favorite, that's for sure. It was long and boring, and we did weird icebreakers with kids that I knew I was never going to see again. It was awkward, but I mean, I was able to get a little bit more acclimated with Penn State and its surroundings. They took us through a couple different buildings that they knew we would have classes in based on what we thought we would major in, which was nice. I got to start my schedule, met with an advisor. So I mean, there were good parts to it that made me feel more comfortable, but at the same time, it was just like, I don't really want to be here. Not
About
yet.
the schedule, like it is great, you get to start it and everything, but then I came back and I changed the entire thing.
So did I.
didn't end up using it.
Exactly.
I barely remembered my FitCap. I felt that was so long ago. I couldn't even remember what it was. But the same thing, like the schedule, you make it, and I felt like they didn't really give you a lot of guidance in making it personally. And then it took me like until the end of last year to actually get how to make a schedule because it didn't really help. So hopefully they concentrate on making that a target to kind of help students understand how to schedule.
Well, they were saying that the biggest decrease in satisfaction is seen in residence halls meetings. It went from 78.1% satisfaction in 2007 down to 67.5% last year. How did you guys feel that your residence halls helped you transition when you were a freshman? Because I know for me personally, I didn't learn much, but I thought it was a great way for me to meet people my freshman year on my hall, having those residence halls meetings. So how did that work out for you girls? I
mean, I remember we would always have floor meetings, and they would always be like, oh, free cookies in the lounge and stuff like that, which was nice because I got to know who was on my floor, which is really important. Knowing who's on your floor, that's like, especially freshman year, fall semester, that's your basis of who you're going to talk to, how you're going to make friends. So those helped me, but at the same time, I'm local, so I pretty much knew everything. Some of my best friends still go here, so I really didn't need it as much as other kids did, but I think it's helpful.
I think they have like a really good idea. They do set up things for all of us to do, but it is really big like on the students because I still don't know who lives across the hall from me. I'll be in the elevator, be like, what floor? And they'll say 6. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you lived on the same floor.
That's how I was.
It still happens to me, but I think it's because of the students. They do give us floor meetings and all of that, but we need to initiate it ourselves as well, I think.
I agree. Yeah, they were talking about, for FitCap though, making it a 2-day event, which I'm not sure. I thought it was long enough in the first place. I'm not sure
that's going to help.
2 days, I feel like people will not be motivated to go if it's 2 days. I feel like they're going to think this is going to take a big chunk out of my time, and I don't want to go through this whole process. So I don't know if 2 days is going to work out.
Especially since some kids aren't local like I was. They have to come in from wherever they are, spend 2 days here, miss high school still because they're still in high school. So it might be difficult. It'll be very difficult.
Well, I guess we'll see how it goes, but moving on to other Penn State news, as we all know, this last Tuesday marked the 1-year anniversary of Joe Paterno's death, and there are a lot of supporters for having some kind of recognition ceremony for this, and then there's a lot of people who aren't. What do you guys think about not recognizing his death for someone who's been in our school for so long?
I don't agree with that. Even though there has been some terrible things going on, of course, everybody knows he was associated with these the scandal and all these different things, but you can't just totally ignore the fact of how much he did do for our school. He did so much. Like, you can't just erase all of that. You can't change history and you can't change the actions that somebody did. I just think he should be recognized in that sense for how much he did for us, at least.
Yeah, like all of that aside, the football stuff, the whole scandal. I mean, just walking through school, the Paterno Library, like without him, that wouldn't have been possible. And then to just not even recognize his death, it's just, I just don't understand how they could come to that decision. Like, I know it's been a year and it's too soon, I guess, they feel to recognize it, but I mean, for someone who did so much for the students and cared so much about this school, I just feel like you have to give recognition to that at least.
There was a mural that a few students went out to, about 40, which is like very small compared to how huge our school is. But it is still nice to see some all come together to one spot and just honor him, because he did do so much for our school.
I did hear they lined 409 candles along Heister Street to, to recognize his 409 wins, which for us, they still live on, even though
they try and say they're going to take some away.
Exactly. No, they're still there. So I thought that was very, very sweet to do. And I mean, it's just still all so sad, but we can only pick up the pieces and keep going. That's all we can do.
Speaking of picking up the pieces, did you guys hear about how Victim 6 is now filing a lawsuit against Penn State?
Yes.
Asking for-
$75,000. I mean, $75,000. That's it. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, they're saying that he is, it's like filing a lawsuit against the Second Mile, Sandusky, and Penn State, so all three of those conglomerates, saying that paramount financial interest in protecting the reputation and commercial viability for the football program. So pretty much just saying that they should have done more, all this stuff, you know, back to the same thing we've already been dealing with. But it never ends, I swear.
Hopefully it's over soon. I think we're all just ready to move on and have a fresh start and everything.
I agree. Let's hope.
Speaking of things, well, for one, I personally think, why did this Victim 6 wait this long? And no disrespect, because what happened was horrible. I don't know why they waited this long. Maybe they just needed to get their support. But, and also talking about things that might be too soon, did you guys hear how Al Pacino is going to be playing Joe Pa in a movie about Paterno's life? What do you guys think?
I am excited for it. I think he's a great pick. I think that will be, what a great actor, first of all. So
yes, that's great. We're having someone so recognized
exactly
for this.
I think it'll be very interesting. I'm excited to see when it comes out. Yeah. Like it'll be great.
I am so excited. I love Al Pacino in The Godfather. That's one of my favorite movies. So I'm just like, when I found that out, I was like on the verge of tears. But one thing that people are kind of concerned about is A, is it too soon? And B, are we going to be focusing on his life as a whole, or are we going to be focusing on what happened towards the end of his life, which has caused so much controversy? So I guess that's something that we'll just have to wait and see. But it's going to be centered around his book, which is that biography called Paterno, and that did focus on the end of his life. So we don't really know how it's going to play out, but Paramount is still in talks. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about some world and national news.